Oh, no way, I got one. Hey, first cast. That's how you can tell it's about to be on. The lipless crankbait is one of the best ways to catch a bass, no matter if you're pond fishing, kayak fishing, or in a bass boat like I am today. And some of my favorite memories I've made on the water were using this style of lure. My name's Tyler, and in today's video, I'm gonna share with you guys the who, what, when, where, and why of the lipless crankbait to catch more bass no matter where you fish. This is the new Mach Slack Jaw. Let's get into it. When I said that you can catch fish anywhere on a lipless style crankbait, I really mean it. Anywhere from 20 feet of water to 2 feet of water, super dirty to super clear. Really, no matter the conditions, you can throw a lipless crankbait. And if you're unfamiliar with what a crankbait is, it's basically a bait that you crank, but usually a crankbait has some style of bill like the one you see on the screen. And what that does, as you tie your line to that split ring, that line tie, and retrieve it, that bill forces the bait down into the water to a certain constant diving depth, and that's how deep the bait runs, and thus how deep you should be fishing it around. A lipless crankbait, as the name implies, doesn't have a lip. Well, if this thing doesn't have a lip, how is it still a crankbait? Well, for two main reasons. One, it sinks. This is not a floating bait like crankbaits are, so the crankbaits float, but the bill gets them down to the diving depth. A lipless crankbait is versatile, incredibly versatile, because it can sink. So while a normal crankbait has a diving depth that it can't really deviate from, so if it's a deep diving crankbait, you cannot throw it in shallow water. In a square bill crankbait or a shallow diving, you really can't throw it in deep water, or at least it's not going to be as effective. With a lipless crankbait, you can throw it anywhere. But what makes the new Slack Jaw from Mach Baits such a unique lipless crankbait? Well, for several reasons. One, the paint jobs are incredible. It is a super realistic bait. Two, the internal weighting system allows this thing to cast incredibly well. So one of the keys to this bait is covering water fast, and making long casts over good productive water is a great way to cover that water, to work your way through it. That way, if you don't know where the fish are, you find a group of fish on your pond or your lake a lot faster than, let's say, fishing a worm or a drop shot or a topwater. Even faster than a spinnerbait or a vibrating jig, a lipless crankbait is the fastest way in terms of the moving bait category to cover water. This bait, just like every other mock bait, comes stock with mustad triple grip hooks. These things are incredibly sharp, as you can see. Ouch, gosh. Sharp. And the last thing about the Slack Jaw is that it comes with two individual line ties on the top of the bait. So as you can see here, it comes out of the package with the split ring on the front line tie. What this allows for you to do as an angler is to get that bait a little bit deeper. And if you want the bait to ride shallower, so let's say you're fishing in like 1.5 to 3 feet of water over some really shallow grass, and you want that Slack Jaw to ride higher in the water column, you can move that split ring to the back line tie, and that'll keep it higher at the same retrieve speeds as it would be deeper with the front line tie. And speaking of retrieves, let's go on the water and show you guys how to work a lipless crankbait. So the main retrieves with a lipless crankbait like this Slack Jaw, it's really pretty simple. There's two of them. There's a straight retrieve, and there is some sort of pause or stop and go, which can take kind of various forms, but I'll explain both of those, or the few of those, here in a second. So right now I'm in about 2.5 to 3 feet of water. So I cast, I let it sink for maybe 1 second, and then I start the retrieve. When you are fishing grass or any kind of shallow cover that's this shallow, you don't really have much of a choice but the straight retrieve with occasional jerks to get it out of the grass. Fish love to eat a lipless crankbait as it's ripped out of aquatic vegetation, and you'll know pretty quick if the vegetation in your body of water that you're fishing is what I call rippable, as in like you can actually snap it out of the grass and it will come out clean. A lot of the times with snotty grass, with unhealthy grass, you're not going to be able to do that. And so if that's the case, make sure you keep your bait rising high enough over the stuff. But as I'm talking to you guys, I let it sink down to the bottom, and now I'm stuck in the bad grass. So you'll see right here, this kind of grass right there is just not very rippable. It's not green, it's not crisp. You want some good crisp hydrilla, milfoil, coontail, and a mixture of dying milfoil and dying eelgrass is not the ticket. So if I'm this shallow fishing a lipless crankbait like this, like I said, I'll make a cast, let it sink for just a second, and then begin my retrieve. And I'm cranking it pretty dang fast. Let's say that we're going to fish a little bit deeper. So if you're in a pond or body of water that has a deeper grass line, 8-10 feet, you can cast out there and do what I call the yo-yo technique, where you let it sink almost all the way to the bottom, and then either reel up and then let it sink, reel up, or place your hand here on the back of the rod and lift up and then let it sink. and then lift up and let it sink. And I did get some grass on this one, but ideally every single time that you lift that rod tip to yo-yo that bait up and down off the bottom, you're gonna feel the brrr, and then it sinks, and then brrr, and then it sinks. And then, oh gosh, there's one. That one hit it on the fall. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Oh yes. Bring it in. Let's go. Hey, hey, got some slack in his jaw. Oh, gee. No, you're gonna chill, buddy. So now that we understand the 2 retrieve options on the slack jaw, I say we sit back down and talk about color selection. He's probably catching them. Gosh, there's one. Man, they are attacking it. I just wish the size was there. Little tiny squirts. Yeah, there's one on the, oh, lost him. On the yo-yo. I'm gonna start yo-yoing it. There we go. On the yo of the yos. That one's a little bit nicer, I think. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Bring it in here, my friend. Let's go. Heck yeah. Just look at how he wanted that thing. Bye-bye. Let's get you back in the water, good sir. Thanks for biting. Gosh. There's one. Oh yes. Little squirt. Ah, don't do that. But still fun on the old slack jaw. Gosh, I want to hit it on the way up. There we go. That was an aggressive fish. As I'm rattling it on the way up on the yo-yo, knocked it in the head. And that's again how you can tell how they want it. If they like that color, they eat it by the face. That guy got it so deep. Beautiful. That's what you want to see right there, folks. Well, folks at home, I think we have more than adequately explained how to work and catch fish on the new Slack Jaw on Mach Baits. My name's Tyler. You can catch me over on my channel, Tyler's Reel Fishing. My goal everywhere that I appear is to help you guys become better anglers and catch more fish, no matter if you're a pond angler or on a bass boat. We'll see you guys next time right here on Mach Nation.